Okay, so welcome to another episode of Business Fumble. Today we have a returning guest, Mike Waters, one of my favorite. He's a brother from another mother. So we have fun. And I brought him back because he's doing a lot of amazing things, and the things that he's doing is still the same, but he is targeting our younger generation, the sports industry, and it's just amazing. So I wanted to bring him back and talk about all of the things that he's doing. And man, y'all gotta get a copy. Dude has written a book. So we're gonna talk about that. We gotta hear because we want y'all to see that face because it belongs on the tizoo. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. So,
Let's
Mike,
go.
Mike.
tell us
Yes.
about some of the things that you're working on. I know you
Yeah.
are like an amazing entrepreneur. You got so many, your hands in so much real estate, fitness, and now this.
Yeah,
Man, let's
yeah.
get into it.
No, let's do it. But first of all, I appreciate you. I'm glad to be back on. I love it. Every time I walk in here, the energy, everything's good. So I appreciate you and what you do. So thank you for that. Yeah, so like you said, I've been all over the place far as business, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that I learned more recent in the last couple years is, sometimes there is such thing as like overextending and trying to do too much.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? And I know for entrepreneurs, that's a hard thing because we have great ideas every morning.
Yeah.
Every day you get up, you're like, oh, I know what I could do. And so I was chasing a lot of those ideas. Not that they were right or wrong, but it's like at some point you got to narrow down the focus and say, this is going to be what I focus on.
How did you do that?
It was very difficult. I used kind of the 80-20 rule, my version of it, or maybe I stole it from someone. I don't know. But it was the 80-20.
I like stealing.
Yeah, it could be. I probably stole
Yeah.
it. So apologize if you hear this. Shout out to you, whoever you
Yeah.
are. Shoot me a message. We'll go back and edit.
Yeah.
So what I did was I looked and I said, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, right? So revenue is obviously one of the deciding factors. So I looked and said, out of my 100% of my time, how much of what percentage of revenue is coming from that time? So basically I looked at it and I said, okay, 80-20 rule means typically they say that 80% of the work only generates 20% of the revenue and vice versa, right? So I looked at it and I was like, okay, that doesn't even sound believable, right? Because you're thinking like, how does 80 only produce 20 and 20% of what you do produces the 80%? It don't sound logical, right?
Right.
So watch this. So I start doing the math on like my daily schedule, what I was spending time on. And one of my businesses in particular, which was the Performance Training Center, which I love. I've had gyms for 20 years now.
Yeah.
I love it. I was investing the most time there. I'm there almost 5 days a week. I'm there hours a day. I'm doing consultations. I'm doing all that. And then at the end of the year, I look and that produced the least amount of revenue or profit revenue out of all the business stuff that I had going on.
Oh wow.
So it's like, how are you spending 80% of your time on the business that only generates 20% of the revenue?
Uh-huh.
What if you just shifted some of that attention
Mm-hmm.
and put it into the other businesses that are already generating more
Mm-hmm.
and see how it goes? So what I did was I looked at, and my business is pretty well, so
Yeah.
I looked at the Amazon business, the highest gross in revenue,
Yeah.
right? The logistics. So I invested more time in that.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, last time I had our business review, we were up 32% in revenue year over, like just for the last 2 years compared to the last 5.
Right.
Why? Because I just spent more energy and time developing the team, having meetings, getting on Zoom calls, doing that stuff where before I was kind of neglecting it. Like, okay, it's good. It's self-sufficient,
Right.
but it wasn't being maximized.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the training and the different stuff I was doing. I said, okay, the training is a cool program, but the facility makes the least amount of profit of everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best part about what I do with student athletes? It's helping them get scholarships.
Yeah.
That's the goal. The goal isn't to help them get abs.
Uh-huh.
It's to help them get scholarships.
Scholarship.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to have Jonathan, who you're going to run the gym.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to focus on is the recruiting and helping kids get scholarships.
Yep.
So now we created a whole nother brand called Recruit Vegas to where athletes and families basically pay us a monthly service in order to help them get exposure, help guide them through the recruiting process. So that business now has literally went from, we launched it on April 5th of last year, And literally from April 5th till now, that part of the business has generated over $40,000 and we're not even a year in.
Right.
Wow.
And if you think about it, that
and you got
business.
so much years of experience. I need
yeah.
to point that out because we moved here in 2008 and I met him to train my son.
Yeah. Yep.
And he started training Judas. And at that time, Judas was in his sophomore year or junior year?
Sophomore going into junior.
Going into junior year.
He's getting ready for junior.
And he was good at football. But listen, even though he was good and he even made the all-star team and Mike was recording and training him and everything, he wasn't even being looked at. And Mike helped him get a scholarship. So, okay, that was 2000, what, 8, 9, 10?
About somewhere in there.
Where are we at now?
Yeah.
And you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Like that right there, it needs to, it shows, number one, that you've been doing it.
Yeah.
You didn't know that it had the value that it had, but you did it because that's what you love.
Passion.
Number one. And then number two, look at how many years it took for you to get here to see what it is. And that's what true entrepreneurship is.
100%.
Because you have these ideas, like you said, you just don't know what it's going to, produce for you, what it's going to give to you. But look at how many years later and you doing it.
Yeah, we 21 years in.
Yeah.
Yep, 21 years. Started in 2003, so somewhere in there. My math might be off because I'm not a mather. I'm not a mather, but you get my point. If you want the exact, do the math. 2003 when it started, whatever today is, you're good.
But you have so many people that you helped that shows your results. And you never advertised it, you never put it out there, you never talked about it. But look, you're here now.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're still helping people.
Yep. Yeah. And that was the thing, I started it from my story, right? I went through a lot in the recruiting process, not being recruited in high school. My high school coach telling me I was undersized and I would never play college football or whatever he said. And I didn't believe him. I started doing my own recruiting thing, started sending information to colleges, got a good response, had a couple of scholarship offers, and then I found out the hard way I wasn't eligible academically. So I didn't have the right core classes, and I didn't have, back then it was SAT and your GPA. So I was struggling. So I ended up not even being able to accept those, and then went to junior college, then ended up transferring to UNLV and played there. So throughout that process, when I got done playing, I just knew this is what I wanted to do. I'm going to help high school athletes get scholarships. I'm going to make sure they understand it, make sure they're educated, make sure the parents know what to do. And I just set out to do it. So like you're saying, it was never about marketing or raising my hand, like, look what I've done. It was just simply like, you guys won't go through what I went through. If I come across you, that's God's way of saying, make sure they don't go through all that stuff you had to go through. And I said, okay, and took the challenge.
And I know you probably don't remember having that conversation with Judas before he took his SAT.
Yeah, he was SAT back then.
And he came out on top.
Yeah.
Me and Winston was looking at the results like
who is this? What you been doing all these? What you been doing for 3 years, 4 years? He waited for the SAT for his best grade ever. The hardest test ever.
I know.
Yeah, he was special.
Yeah, but he told me how you let him know.
Yeah,
man, it's important, and he took that attitude to taking his test.
Yeah, we are very strict. We still are. I mean, we have academic issues even with our students right now. I'll pull them out the program.
Oh, you pull them out?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they have all the resources now. You know what I mean? Between the counselors, between the online curriculums, between me, between our team, between the academy, all the stuff that's provided. And we give them opportunity to get better and improve. But if we see that it's not working and you're not improving, at the end of the day, there's no recruiting.
Yeah.
I can't get you a scholarship if your GPA is not there, or if you mess around in class, or if you're getting kicked out of school. There's no need in us working for 2 years to try to accomplish a goal if I know right now you're not locked in.
Yeah.
And I tell them, hey, when you get locked in, come see me.
That's really good, because in sports, it's important. Sports is sort of teaching you discipline, right?
Yep.
It's sort of teaching you that. And I never forget, like with my kids when they were
Mhm.
in sport, when they came home, because most of the sports
Yeah.
programs, if your grades wasn't the part, they kick you
Yeah.
off.
Yep.
Yep.
They kicked
100%.
you off. So it sort of forced them
Yeah.
to
To figure it
be,
out.
you know,
Mhm.
be in the academic, being good. I remember when you helped Judas get his scholarship at South Dakota,
SD. Yep.
and they were surprised at his major
Yeah.
because most of them were
Yep.
picking, the simple
Yep.
major. What was
Criminal
it?
justice.
Criminal or psychology or
Right.
something
Yep.
like
Yeah.
that.
It was
Yeah.
just.
And so, and when they went, they, when the teams come,
Yeah.
they have this event and they stand up and say what their major is.
Yep.
And most of them was in that major
Mhm.
because you got majority of them are black black athletes.
Mhm.
And so when they were standing up and calling it out, my husband says, Judas stands up and say accounting, and everybody's looking at him like,
How you gonna play football and do
right,
that?
and do that, right? But it was surprising. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, are you talking to your the people that you're helping
Mhm.
and helping them to see the importance on what they choose when they go into college
Yes.
and academic major?
100%. So we work on that. And then the biggest thing is I start early, right? And I don't discourage them, but I start early because what happens is a lot of parents will say it like this: you need a plan B. You need a plan B. If football don't work, what are you going to do? Which it is the reality because only less than 2% are actually going to have the opportunity to play at the professional level.
Right.
So we understand. So it is reality. But what I try to teach parents is this: by saying that, you're slightly going to do, you're going to do one of two things. Either you have a kid that understands it, or you have one that's now going to be discouraged or thinks that you don't believe in them.
Yeah.
Because if you my mom and you my support system and all you saying is plan B, what's your plan B? I'm like, do you care about my plan A?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because all you
Yeah.
talking about is my plan B. Every time I go to practice, you come on, what's your plan B?
Like, dang, you think I'm that bad, huh?
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Should I quit? Should I quit
Yeah.
now? Like, should I quit now, mom, and focus on my plan B?
Yeah.
So what I teach them is this. It's the same strategy, it's just different approach, right? I tell my athletes, even if you make it to the, let's say, NFL, we talking football, even if we make it to the NFL, and you have a good career, 8-year, 9-year, by the time you retire, you'll be 32 years old.
Yeah.
And you'll still have more years of living from 30 to whatever than you did playing. Therefore, we're going to start thinking about after that, what are we going to be doing with that time?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a better way to look at
What
it.
business are you starting?
Yeah.
Are you going to be an entrepreneur? Are you going to be a doctor? You're going to be a lawyer? You're going to be an accountant? What are you going to be when it's done? So now I'm not conflicting with what today's goal is. I'm saying that might be when you're 33 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you don't make it and it ends at 23, 24, I'm already prepared for plan B. I already been thinking about what I want to do. Remember I told you I want to be an accountant.
It's not really like plan. You're not really helping them get plan B. You're more like, what's the next stage?
What's the next
Where
stage?
You're helping
After
grow.
we hit A,
Yeah.
what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a cool
Yeah.
way.
And now if you don't hit A, it all falls in. It falls
You can
into
still
that
go do
alignment.
it. Yeah, yeah.
You're already there. If you hit A, guess what? And it's proven now. I have athletes like Brandon Marshall, Corey Toomer, Xavier Grimble. These are all phase 1 athletes from Vegas that did go to the NFL and had successful careers.
Wow.
Right.
But guess what? Each one of them has had to do since then.
Find
Figure out
something
what's
else.
next.
What's next? Yeah.
Brandon opened his restaurant.
Yeah.
Xavier's doing some training stuff. So it's like they have to figure it out either way. So why not start thinking about it early, but not looking at it as a either or? And that's where the parents, I think, make the mistake is that. Plan B. Mom, plan A is scholarship in NFL.
That's a better way, and hopefully parents really take from that.
Yeah.
And I think that, like within your book, you're giving them step by step of things that they need to do.
Yeah.
They have to do in
Yep.
order to be successful at getting that scholarship and being in that position.
Yep.
So I wanted to point that out because, I got the book and I'm reading through it and it's like, it's really step 1,
Yeah.
step 2. I was like, okay, now he
yeah.
really like
Yeah.
breaking it down.
Yeah.
And that's important. Why did you take that step when you were writing it?
Yeah, because so one of my big things is anytime I'm on social media
Mhm.
or on our YouTube channel and all that stuff. My thing is takeaways, right? I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs get on social media and they don't want to give away any information, right? They just want someone to
Yes.
buy something.
Yep.
So instead of it looking like I'm Mike Waters, I'm 21 years in, I'm great, I've helped 800 athletes get scholarships, buy this. I
Yeah.
say, you know what? I'm going to give you how I did it
Mhm.
every time I speak on any of our channels.
Mhm.
And over time, the trust and the credibility will build. And now eventually you're gonna want to pay me. You're gonna want to, you're gonna feel obligated. Like I gotta buy something. I've literally had parents be like, dude, what do you have for sale? I'm like, got a book coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my mindset. So when I looked at the book, when I started writing this, which is about a year ago, it
Mhm.
took me a decent amount of time. I looked at it, I said, okay, what's the goal of the book? The book is called D1 Offers, Division One Offers, right? So the goal is if a parent picks this book up or athlete picks this book up for 20 bucks, they should have enough resources by the time they get done with that book to where they never need to call me.
Right.
You can launch your own recruiting campaign right through this book.
Yes.
I even broke it down by grade. If
Yep.
your son's a freshman, you can literally go to the freshman section
Yeah.
and say he should be doing this. And then when he becomes a sophomore, guess what you do? Flip a couple more pages.
Yeah.
Sophomore. I wanted it to be where this book can be the result of athletes all around the country getting scholarships
Yeah.
that I may never meet in person or come across.
So I love the fact that you brought that out, but now I need to ask you another question that's really gonna dig deeper into it. We both know because we have been into the educational system. We read a lot,
Yeah.
and reading it gives you what you need to do.
Yeah.
How do you help them to get all of the other things? Because sometimes reading only gives you the why.
Mhm.
It's not going to give you the how, what, when. It's not going to give you all of those
Mhm.
components.
Yeah.
What do you know? Because I know that you have the answer, but I want you to talk about it. How do you help them with that next? If they read it and now they say, oh, I need to make sure my freshman is doing this, and they're doing that,
Mhm.
but they don't get all of the other steps or they don't see what's happening with that. And they want to say, okay, Mike, this was good. It was good information, but I need
Now
more.
what? Yep.
How do you?
Yep. So basically, we have a couple different things. So last night, actually, Monday night. So we also do recruiting calls, and these recruiting calls are free. We do a Zoom. Literally, we do it about once a month, and we invite athletes from all over the country. Parents. There's no cost. It's literally you literally put your name and email and phone number, and we send you the Zoom link. So we get on those Zooms, and literally we spend an hour of educating parents, and then we spend another 30 minutes to an hour of Q&A. And I tell parents that's a good opportunity to ask specific. My son is a sophomore. He plays this, he does this. What should we do? And I give them that advice, like I said, once again, at no cost whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's just what we do. Now, the next side of that, there's some families that say, you know what, read the book, everything's good, but still, we need more. Like or I read the book, I don't want to do it. I want you to do it.
Yes.
Thank you for the blueprint. However, I will not be doing any of that. I will be talking to you. So,
Right.
which is fine. So that's where we launched our recruiting program. It's called Recruit Vegas. So now parents and families can say, you know what, Mike, I want the hands-on approach. I want the individual guidance. I want to be a part of that group that I see you traveling with and going to camps with and getting scholarship offers and we're posting. I want to be a part of that.
Right.
So what we do, we have a screening process, pre-qualified because we don't just take every athlete because the goal is this, and I've been doing this a long time. This isn't like a money grab for me. Because if it was, I'd be like, every athlete, pay me, and but that's not the mission. The mission is to work with athletes that are focused, that are locked in, that have the potential, and now we work together to get the result.
Yeah.
So the pre-qualification is real simple. They send me all their info. I break down film. I look at where they're at, look at their age, look at their grades, look at their transcripts. I look at everything, and I say, okay, if you're ready, I say, cool, we could take the next step, and now I could send them an invite to the actual recruiting program. If they're not there, which is the benefit of my years of experience, I can usually put together a game plan to help them get there.
Get there.
So even if I say, you know what, you're not ready for it right now, but I need you to take these supplements because you need to gain weight. You need to do this. Are you training anywhere? If you're not in town, what's the local performance training center that's like
Yeah.
a phase 1 type thing?
Mhm.
So I'm going to help you build it out and then say, let me know in 3 months, 6 months how you're doing, where you're at, and we'll reevaluate.
And that right
Parents
there,
love it.
yeah, and that right there lets them know that, you're serious.
Yeah.
I have this saying that I always say, I got it from a movie. Yes, I stole it, but I use it every day. And I tell
At least you
people
said it.
when they sit down and something is going on and I'm trying to help them, I'll be like, dude, time is tissue. What do you want? And that right there is saying, time is short. You can't waste it. Every minute has to have, it has to mean something.
Yeah.
You have to be doing something to show me that you are not wasting my time.
100%.
And that process right there is saying it. Hey, I want to be an athlete. I want to get a scholarship, and then he's looking at everything and it shows him that, man, you're not serious about this. It's just something that you want.
Yeah.
Prove to me that you want it.
Yep.
Do the work,
Yep.
man.
That's
and
exactly it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what that's saying. So, that's another reason why parents need to read the book, but also stay in contact, take advantage of those services and that information that you're giving them,
Yeah.
number one, and then taking advantage of that program to be, a part of, that part of your business to get them where they need to be.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we didn't have this years ago. You did it for me, and it wasn't even a business concept for
you. It was
you.
just part of what we did.
Yeah,
it
was just a part of
I'll
what
help ya.
you did. But imagine if you were doing it back then, how many of our young athletes
Yeah.
would have that
Would
scholarship?
have more opportunity.
Because
Yeah.
when Judas was playing ball, there was several guys that made that all-star team, and the only ones that was getting noticed was the ones that was going to Bishop Gorman.
Yeah.
And it was because they had the money to put in.
Yeah.
You had Donovan Smith.
Yep.
He ended up dying, but that guy was a beast.
Yeah.
He was a beast. They had several of them
Yeah.
that was on that team that were so good, and none of them, even the coaches, wasn't even pushing them.
Yeah.
The coaches didn't even have. I remember you had coaches visiting Durango
Had 'em coming to the school.
for Judas, and the coach was acting like he was a part of it. He had did something, and it was like you had nothing to do with it, and you had better players than Judas on that team.
Nothing happened.
And they had nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine if you had that program back then.
Yeah.
How many of these young athletes would have actually been able to do something like the ones that you've already been involved in?
Yep. I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
So luckily here, hey, only the next second best time is today.
Exactly. Better late than never. That's
The
what I
best
always
time
say.
was 10 years ago. The next best time is right
Now.
now. So but no, that's a good point. But yeah, you're right, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with you also have a school, right?
Yeah, academy.
An academy
Mhm.
for young athletes, and
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, so that's a program we started right after COVID. It's something that I was considering prior to COVID. And when I say considering, I was doing a whole bunch of research and probably wasting a bunch of time because it's like I got to learn more and stuff. Because I was a little hesitant because it included the academic curriculum. So my thing is like I know like parents and families trust me, so I was like I need to understand. I need to know everything.
Yeah.
So I started doing research, traveling to different places around the country that had these type of programs, reading into it. Like okay, this looks good. Then COVID hit. So when COVID hit, it was more like, everything kind of shut down. So it was like, okay, we're not a good time right now to launch something new. But when COVID ended and everything opened back up, that's when the parents literally started coming to me, pressing me to start the academy. Because if you remember that temperature at the time, parents weren't comfortable with their kid going back to regular school.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's too many kids, too many this. We didn't know what was going on. There were hands washing, all that. Like it was a lot. Masks. So I had parents literally get together, like they got together with themselves and came to me
like,
Maybe they
you're
like
gonna do
formed
this.
a coalition.
Yeah, like we need to meet. It was like an intervention. I was like, what's gonna happen here? But so they did an intervention, and they said, Mike, dude, we trust you. We had the big facility at that time. You got the space. I think you need to go move forward with the academy. And just to help you out, it was like 8 parents. I got 8 parents that were signing up right now. However much you tell us it is, we're in. We're in right now because we don't want our kid to go back to whatever school.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So we launched it.
Yeah.
And now here we are, 6 years later almost, and it's still rolling. And since then, we've really even evolved it even more, where we still do the academics, of course. Now we incorporated life skills training into it as a part of the curriculum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're doing
what?
goal setting. They're doing time management, social media management, nutrition,
Wow.
all as a part of it.
Man.
Like the athletes in our academy right now, and this is middle school. These are 6th, 7th, 8th graders. Right now, I have athletes that can sit down right now and make a meal plan for you because they understand macros and calories and cool. Okay, Miss Sheila, what are you trying to do? You want to build muscle? You want to look? They'll ask you and they'll map it out.
I need
for
that
you.
right now.
And
I'm finally going back to the gym. I need that.
there you go. So yeah, they can literally build it out. Like we had them build their own meal plans out. For that, the goal setting was huge. We had them do goal setting in, of course, academic goal, athletic goal, a family goal, community goal, and a spiritual goal. Right? And so we went to the next level because I looked at it like this. We're developing in all these other areas. So I added the family because it's too many stories of, you got 2 little sisters, but how do you treat them? You know what I mean? Because, you big brother, so you might be a little rough or you might, no. How are you taking care of how are you helping your family? Is mom coming in telling you to clean the room up or did you already clean it up? Is she telling you, can you help with these dishes or are you just already going to take care of it? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a mindset.
Yeah,
It's
a
like
mindset.
teaching self-awareness.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah.
what's your family goal?
Yeah.
All right, I want to be a better brother. I want to be a better son. I want to be better. Cool.
Yeah.
And then we go all the way to spiritual, which is what we do when we just say, we're not worried about religion and what religion you are. We're just saying, what are you doing to become a better person? What's your self-development to just become better? Then we do community, which they have to literally declare what they're going to do, whether it be I'm volunteering 3 hours a week at church, or I'm volunteering at the community center.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them to think about it differently.
And in
Middle school.
Wow.
So,
that's good because
yeah.
Las Vegas is a very low rate in education. So most parents' concern is my kid learning anything? I always go back to when we first moved here in 2008 and I registered Judas and Durango. They didn't know what to do with them. They were like, well, this kid took physics in freshman year. He took trig in freshman year. Where are we going to put him? Because we don't offer that until our senior year.
He's already maxed out.
And and they didn't know what to do. And to me, that was sad because you're educational. And what you guys are doing is y'all twisting it. You're developing these kids and all around education, spiritual, goal setting and all of that. And that's got to be powerful.
I think that's because we have a need for, obviously you've seen a need for that. I don't know if you, growing up out here, well, mostly out here, when my family moved out here from New York, it was like 2001. And so I was still in elementary school, going to middle school, and they looked at the education. New York is high up on education compared to a lot of other states. And so going from that to Nevada, they were like, it's not great. And there was a huge push at that time for homeschooling, for alternative schooling, online schooling, correspondence, because you were able to take trig in freshman year if you were smart enough. And I feel that there is a need for young ones. And now it's like, if they're smart, push them. Help them to think for themselves. And I don't think that's big out here. I don't know if you ran into that, but like.
Yeah, well, it's becoming bigger, but the problem has been the CCSD school, the school system makes it difficult sometimes when it comes to, like, for example, if an athlete is a homeschool athlete and they're zoned to play sports at that school, right? Yeah. So that's how it's written. Like, if you're zoned here, you can still play even though you're homeschool. Last year, I think it was, they incorporated a thing where now that costs the family like $1,200 a year. And it's like,
Why?
Oh.
No, the reason is the expenses and the refs and the uniforms and the stuff that they get, and they're not a student. And if they're not a student, that means the school isn't being compensated for that student, I guess is kind of how they positioned it. I don't know. I don't know the insights of that. But I do know that I just had a conversation recently. A parent's homeschool through an online curriculum, and he wants to play football at a high school. And so that was the first part of the conversation was like, no, yep, we could do it. You just got to fill this out, and it costs you this much a year. And it's just like, wait, what just happened?
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? It's like,
is it because technically speaking, when you enroll your kid, I guess the schools get funding from the government,
exactly,
and that pays for their sports.
Yeah.
But if you're just homeschooling, there is no funding. There's no money going into the sports. So you just
Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, no, that's
probably
exactly the
it.
reason.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
100% the reason.
Okay.
The only difference is it just became a thing like a year ago.
So
Before that, it was no cost. But it could be what you just referenced.
Yeah.
Maybe the numbers are going higher of homeschool. And
Yeah.
so
I
now the
believe
numbers are kind of looking where
Yeah.
now the city CCSD probably had to implement
I know
something.
a lot of people that homeschool.
I
their
was
kids.
for like half of my schooling.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a while.
I
So-
know a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of them just decides to home. I know for Kamari, he is right now. When he hits that 5th and 6th grade, more than likely she gonna be calling Uncle Mike. Hey, you need to make room for your little nephew over here.
Put them in the academy. Bring them on in.
Yeah,
Around
because
how many students do you have actually in your academy?
So the way we're programmed, the way we're designed is we have a maximum of 24.
Okay.
That's the
okay.
max.
Okay.
Right? Because I've kind of done my own math, and basically 12 to 1 is the biggest ratio or the largest ratio that we want.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, there are some academies that are a lot bigger, but I think it gets not just watered down, it actually is just not productive
Yeah.
when you have that kind of a space and you put 50, 60,
50,
80
60,
kids in there. Yeah,
it makes it about the money.
it's a crap load of money.
Yeah.
You're going to look good money-wise,
Yeah.
but are these kids really getting what they need?
Right.
Do you know each kid? Like every
Mhm.
kid in our program, I could come here. you know what I mean? I know their name. I know at least their parents. I know enough about them to be able to help develop them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The parents all have our cell phone number where they can, hey, text, hey, this happened. Okay, cool.
Wow.
You can't do that with 100 kids. Can't do
Nope.
that with 80
No.
kids.
Nope.
No.
And then of course the athletic side of it, we're looking at the performance training. So these kids train 5 days a week for 90 minutes a day, right? So in order for that to happen, these are middle schoolers. So they need the attention. We need their form to be right.
Yeah.
We need to prevent injury. We need to teach them how to do certain lifts. So by the time they get to high school, they're ready.
Yeah.
How do I do that with 60, 70, 80 kids?
You can't.
It's impossible. So how do we
Unless
call it
you hire more people.
way more, and your facility has to do it.
Facility,
And this is
yeah.
the example I use from the training standpoint. College football teams have right now, I think it's 85 players on the roster. And they have these weight rooms that are freaking massive. 50 squat racks and all, just is everything you can imagine is in this building. And they still split the athletes up based on position and stuff because they don't want 85 even in that space that can do it.
Yeah.
So how are you in a private gym with a quarter of what that university has and you're effective with 60, 70 kids?
Impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that it makes sense. You can't tell me.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Yeah. Nobody operates
The
like that.
NFL teams' strength programs are split by positions and all that stuff.
Right.
Same way. And they got billions of dollars. They could build the biggest gym in the world.
Yeah.
But they say, no, it doesn't make sense because how are we going to get each individual athlete better by them just being in a big group? So
Wow.
that's why we maxed at 24.
Do you think that over like stuffing of too many kids in like one curriculum is affecting public schools today, like CCSD? Because when I went to Centennial, there was 3,000 kids in that high school,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, we're packed." And I'm hearing 5,000 kids in that school right now.
Yeah, it's that high.
Do you think that's affecting education levels right now out here?
I mean,
or-
honestly, I think it's the funding and just the whole system, man.
Mhm.
I don't, like I said, I don't know enough to go too deep into that.
that's fair.
But I look at things, probably sometimes too simple. I look at it like this: how do we have, and the answer is in the question, how do we have one of the lower academic curriculums in the country, right? But we're in a city that has one of the highest revenue producing streets in the world.
Yeah.
literally.
Maybe my math is too simple.
No. I've thought about it, and it's because of number one, here and I've been to a lot of the big cities. Chicago, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
But here it's so simple to make a lot of money because
without the education.
without the
Yeah.
education, because they have. Listen, you can park cars and make more than
make
a
100
person
grand
that's
a
sitting
year.
behind a desk, doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So here it's a lot of opportunities because you can make money by not educating
so
yourself.
it's not
Yeah.
important.
And they've dumbed down education and saying you don't need that because listen, you can come over here and you can do this. You can take a drink to somebody that's
Cocktail
sitting here
server,
and
Cocktail servers make mad
hitting
money.
200 grand a year.
Yeah. And look at the money that you're gonna make. So
Mhm.
because of that, it's important for what you're doing because maybe they won't land here in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Maybe they're gonna land in some other state, and now they
Mhm.
gotta figure it out.
Mhm.
No, and that's why I said the answer is in the question.
Mm-hmm.
We got the most revenue generating street in the world. However, to make money on that street doesn't require education.
No. It doesn't.
Doesn't.
In majority of the positions. It's a network, it's who you know.
Mhm.
It's there's valet drivers that are starting at valet and all of a sudden they're up to, directors and which it is what it is, but I think that's why, like you just said, that's why the education system isn't a high priority.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If that was more of a tech street or more of a street like that or into finance street,
Mhm.
guarantee you they would be pouring into this community to raise up
Yeah.
the next fund manager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it would, but we don't necessarily have to do it here.
But one thing people don't talk about is Las Vegas is also, they have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
They like even in the casinos, they hire a lot, but the turnover rate, man, is extremely high.
It's very high.
Because the people don't know.
Yeah.
They don't have the education.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do things. So, the numbers don't look good because they ain't got the right people in their place.
Yep.
So there's a lot of issues, but those issues are not talked about. So people are not focusing on that. They just focusing on making the quick money. It's easy.
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yep.
do this.
Yep.
I make more, than the average person that went to get a college
they got a degree and
education.
everything. Yep.
Mhm.
100%.
So hey, that's why it's like that. But you know what? I have another hard question for you, but I think it's a very important question. You've sat here and on this couch and you've explained all of your business, the models, and then you've been here before. And one thing that I can say about you is that it's not about the money, it's about the effect that you leave on whoever it is that you're dealing with, how you affect their life in the long run. And I know you get heat from that because a lot of people don't understand, why isn't it about the money?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I think it goes back honestly to the beginning. Like when I started phase one, right, in 2003, I had so many people tell me it wasn't ever gonna work. I had so many people tell me you're not gonna make money. I had so many people tell me like that sounds like a hobby. You should, like we just said, you should go get a job on the strip. Because the thing about it, I just finished at UNLV. My major was marketing communication. They're like, dude, you can go to freaking Bellagio and be the director of marketing and make $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, I'm out here in the park with 6 kids. So I kind of looked at it even early on, like this isn't going to be a money grab or money business. It's going to be a passion project because I want to help these kids and affect them. So what I did at that time, which I'm glad I did, I made a decision that I would be very smart with money. I would manage every dollar that I made. I don't care if it was $1 or $1 million. I would manage it, and then I would figure out ways to invest it, and that's where I'll build my wealth. So I never put phase one or helping kids in my wealth bucket.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I never worried about it. That's why I still do a lot of stuff, or I'll do this free, or here's a free camp, come out. Because that was never in the bucket of how do I become wealthy.
Yeah.
But I do have those desires of being wealthy.
Yeah.
So that's why I looked at it and said, okay, before the market crashed in 2008, when I was 25 years old, by the time I got to 27, I had 3 houses. Right? Because I knew real estate was kind of a big thing I wanted to do. Now, unfortunately, it was premature and I wasn't even financially ready. So it was the market crashing, but then it was also me not being prepared. You know what I mean? Because I was, so I had to regroup and relearn. So over the last however many years, I've got up to 13 properties right now, 13 doors. I'm a part of a couple syndication, like bigger projects, apartments, because that's my wealth legacy.
Mhm.
So I could take money, invest it into that, and now that becomes where I look at my wealth. Then 7 years ago, had the opportunity for the Amazon contract.
Yeah.
So that is a money business.
Yeah, it is.
That business I look at, that business actually helps sustain everything else. So if phase one is down or this is down, it's okay because I have that. And now that money is what, I mean, and because you know what, she runs everything. She know more about, she know the answer more to this question than I do, if I'll be honest.
But it still is good.
It's good
just
to
good
ask.
communication.
Yeah, I'm
right?
like,
We're giving it to the people.
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
She already know. I'm like, I'm thinking like,
yeah.
He's
you
like,
know
you
more
know
about what I'm doing than I do.
Yeah.
I have to call her sometime. Like,
yeah.
what LLC is that? What was that?
He's so funny because I just called him and I said, Mike, when I have good news, I just want to share. And I'll be like, Mike, man, I got you that I put that refund in, you're going to get that money. And he's like, ooh, really, word. And then he texted me later like, dude, how you do my taxes? Like, dude, I ain't talking about no daggone taxes. And then he was like, oh, okay. He had me confused for a minute.
Can y'all let her know I'm still sitting here? I'm still sitting here. I'm right here. I'm still here. I haven't left yet. When I leave, you're supposed to talk like this.
Right, man. He had me confused, and I was like, did I do it?
Hey,
and then I started laughing. I was like, Mike. I was like, listen, you've been working too long. It is time to turn off the phone and go to bed.
Yeah,
right. Just let it go, dude.
You're right. She right.
I be missing all this.
She told me, I was hyped too, like, let's go, we got it. And then I hung up a couple hours later, I was like, we did our taxes. We did. I didn't even give her any paper. I didn't even give her the stuff. I'm like,
you did it. No.
I still got the stuff.
Now,
I'm like, how did you do that? And you don't have the stuff.
He's telling on himself
like,
because he's that much of an entrepreneur. He watches everything and he knows everything, but he gets confused.
Yeah,
and hey, it's just a part of being, being all the time clocked in, and that's what makes your success. But that was funny. I had to share that. But I know that people are in your ear now and saying, man, you're doing this, it's not going to work. How do you like, I guess I want to ask you, how do you block out the noise? Because that's all that is. That's noise.
Yeah.
How can you help other people get to the point where they can block out the noise?
Small circle, small circle, and no open doors. So when you say block out the noise, as you were saying it, there is no noise. Because I only have 2 or 3 people that I trust and I accept anything they say. Everyone else doesn't even have an ear to say it to. You have to release that completely.
But it took you a while to get there.
Because before you want to please everyone or you want to include everyone.
Right, and so that's why I want you to talk about how they get to there sooner than later.
Having to learn the hard way.
Yeah, 100%. So you got to look at it like this, right? Everybody's going to judge you or what you say based on their personal experience, not yours.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm starting a phase 1 and they say it's not going to work, that's probably somebody that tried to be a personal trainer 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And now they working somewhere else.
Bitter.
Now they working at Subway somewhere. I don't even know if Subway's still open, but now they working you know what I mean? Like so because naturally what sucks about our part of our human brains is when people talk to you, you just filter what they're saying through your own filter.
Yeah.
So if I've failed, if I've had issues, if I wanted to start a business, but I never have, but I've always wanted to, but I never took the risk and the chance. When you tell me you're starting one, it makes me go, are you sure? I don't know if that's going to work. But dude, you think you could do it? I don't know, man. I wanted to start one, but I never did. But I don't know. 90% of businesses fail. Usually in the first 3 years. What are we talking? What are we talking about right now? And you're not even in my business, but yet you feel like you want to put that on me. Yep. So now I got to go home and lay down. They right. This many business. Now I'm Googling how many businesses fail. Oh, he's right.
Yeah, that's so true.
Now I'm poisoned. Now my energy is going. Now I'm going into a business. Now I'm not even 100%. So like I said, small circle. It's you can call me. I have a friend, Toya, that can call me. You met Toya. DeMario, Devontae, Regina.
He said, "That's it. It fit on one hand."
5 people.
Wait a minute. Regina is your wife.
Yeah, because she's closest to me. She got in the
Yeah,
middle.
she said
I
she
got to
know
listen to
everything.
her.
Yeah.
So he got a very small. Man, that's down to 4.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't count her.
4 and impossible.
You can't count her.
4 and impossible. But think about it though.
Yeah.
These are people that are entrepreneur minded. You know, you've been doing my bookkeeping and accounting for freaking 20 years.
Yeah.
So so anything you say, it's valuable to me. Whether it's positive, negative, or in the middle, it's valuable. All my people I mentioned in that group, they're all entrepreneurs. They've been through ups, they've been through downs. They understand the business. They understand what it looks like.
Yeah.
So if you picture those people, those 4 and impossible, anything that they say, it's typically going to be valuable to me in one form or another, even if it's not what I want to hear.
Yeah, but see, and then the important thing is none of those people, because I know I would never, if you told me something, I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader like, dude, when are you going to do it? Listen, this is what we need to do. You got to go do this. You got to do that. Because I am, man, anything that anybody can throw out there, I feel like it can be done.
Yeah,
even if it can't. I feel like it can be done.
You can figure it out.
You know, you can figure it out. And I'm sure the rest of them are like that.
No,
So that's a part of that group.
Yep.
And, you know, I haven't gotten there yet because I have a lot of people that calls me for advice and everything. And I'm learning that all of the people that call me and I give that advice little by little is draining me.
Yep. And I'm going to help you with that.
Yep.
I'm going to help you with that because this is what I started doing about 2 years ago. Because I was the same way. Everybody want to talk. I got messages right now I haven't even read. It's like, you got 10 minutes. I just want to run something by you. I'm doing it. One, you got to limit that. Number one. So, but here's how I did it. Anyone that I give advice to, they got the first time. I give them advice. If they reach out again at any point, I don't care if it's 2 years later, I ask myself before I respond, did they even do what I said the first time? If the answer is no, they can't talk to me no more about it. Can't talk to me. We have something we just talked about. What do you think? I have no answers. There's nothing I can tell you because whatever I've told you over the past it is not worked. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's other people. I have close friends that I went to high school with, been knowing for my whole life since 5th, 6th grade. And first time, hey man, I'm gonna do this. Oh yeah, do this. Let me send you this information. I'm feeding into it. Then 2 years later, hey man, I'm thinking about opening but what happened to the book? Oh no, I didn't do the book. Okay, cool. I can't help you with that. I can't help you.
Yeah.
Because it's energy and we only got, if the battery is 100% for what we're doing as business owners and entrepreneurs, we need at least 95% of it to focus on what we got going.
Yeah.
That's so true. I'm telling y'all, he's
so the
preaching.
5%, if you are going to give away the 5, it better be to the people that you're going to feel good that you helped.
Yeah.
It's the people that you say, I want to write a book, and you send them information, and then 6 months from now, they like, I brought you the first copy.
Yeah.
Now you like, yes. Now they're charging your battery.
Yeah.
But if a year later, what happened to the book? Oh, I'm still working on it. Battery going down.
Yeah,
so
man, because I feel drained, but then I feel guilty if I don't listen.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that because I'm naturally a good person. Like for me, I'm not a sharer.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've shared things with you that nobody in the world knows because seriously, I'm not a sharer.
Yeah.
And I take that from, like you said something where people try to, when they're that noise, they are projecting their situation.
Their filter. Yep.
And the first time when I really started taking spirituality like serious and reading the Bible, I learned that a lot of people read it and they immediately take a scripture and say, this is what this means. And they're saying that it means that because that's what they experience.
That's what it means
and
to
that's
them.
not even the meaning of it.
Yeah, that's their
And
meaning
so
to them.
I never forget, I quoted a scripture and I said, never let your left hand know what your right hand doing. And my mom says, yeah, but that's talking about giving gifts. And I said, yeah, but everything in life is almost a gift. So I don't share because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because there's a meaning in not letting one hand know what the other hand's doing.
Different.
He's trying to tell us it's important to keep those things and just execute it, because then you don't have that noise.
Yeah, you don't have
It
noise.
doesn't exist because you were silent with it.
Yeah.
So
And-
I've always been that silent person.
Yeah.
But I found that there are people that I can call and say, listen, this is what's going on. And he's one of them, because I know he's going to be like, girl, if you don't get off this phone and do what you got to do, and he's going to be the first person that supports me when it's done and asks me the right questions.
Yeah.
So, but I still have that problem.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where to cut it off because it's draining my battery.
Yeah.
I think it goes
so
to
to
what
speak.
you were saying, Mike, about like, if you give someone advice and they don't even bother to listen to it, they keep going to your advice and they don't listen to it. It's like,
what do we do?
I don't have any more advice to
What
give.
do we
I don't
do?
got no energy to spend on you. It's the pearls before swine analogy. It's, you got these pearls. You have things that are valuable you can give. But if you realize I'm just throwing it out there, it's just going in the mud. They're not taking it.
Might as well
After
keep-
a while, it's not out of spite. This is not practical. There's nothing. And eventually, I think it just comes into identifying what behaviors are swine-like behavior. Like, you're just going to keep coming to me and asking me for stuff, and you're not going to take it. And it's not mean. It's not mean to, put them in their place. Like, like they're not part of the people that I can do this with. It's just learning to grow and everything.
Yeah.
And I think that was, I've done that to some people. They've respected me for doing that. And they go like, you took care of what was important to you and you didn't waste your time on me. And I was wasting your time, just feeling better about myself that someone had good
I would
advice
like
to tell
to hear
me.
that.
Yeah.
Sometime. No,
Yeah.
Right? Like-
But you know what?
That takes years.
One thing
that takes years.
One thing that I can say that being in business and being the type of person I am, I finally got to the point where I don't answer my phone all the time.
Yeah.
It rings and I be like, nope,
Yep.
don't feel like talking.
100%.
I'm gonna call them back,
Yep.
but
If-
I don't feel like
If
talking.
I'm not
right
in
now.
the exact right
I've
place
never
mentally,
done that before, but now I do it
Yeah,
often.
no, I do
Like
it all the
phone
time.
ringing, okay, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
peaceable for me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Right there. That's
Yep.
a part of that piece.
Yeah, because you can't be on call for everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta, and then it's all the same. So if you think about it, I could assure you that when certain people call and you don't want to talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time it's gonna be the same people that are draining you.
Yeah.
That's why you don't want to pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can think about it. Why?
Mhm.
Because right now, if one of my boys call me that I'm cool with, oh man, what's up? What's good? Hey,
Mhm.
I'm in this podcast. I'll hit you right back. But if it's somebody, I'm like, "Pff, good. Anyway, go ahead. you know what I mean? Because it's just it's
Perfect.
human nature, but you just got to be careful, man. It's even think about the people that you try to help, and they're battling even while you're helping.
Yeah.
You think that'll work? But I tried that. But what if I did that? So you think dude, you know what? Do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
Why are we talking?
Yeah.
Because everything I say, you got a rebuttal as to what you think. And I'm telling you from
Mhm.
years of experience,
Mm-hmm.
hey, dude, you shouldn't do it like that. I think you should do this. Yeah, I don't really want to do it. Like, okay, why are we talking?
Yeah.
Why are you on the phone with me? You see what I'm saying? But if you think about it, my people, my four, they're all entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So if I give them an idea, they give me an idea, more than likely we're going to execute it.
Yeah.
Now, we might even
Mhm.
ask the similar questions, but we're
Mhm.
asking from a different place.
Right.
So you think whatever, go high level is better than whatever. Oh,
Mhm.
but we've been using this for years, but no, but what are you doing it for? We're going to go back and forth.
Yeah, you're gonna
And at
bounce.
the end, they're going to say, you know what? I think you're right. Or they're going to say, you know what? I'm going to stick with what we doing. It's
Yeah, I
all
don't
good.
have-
Yeah.
I don't have that.
They both become a positive conversation.
Yeah. Something's
you-
happening.
But something's happening. There's a
Yeah.
plan. There's an execution. But then you get the wrong person. Hey, man, I think you should use this software. But dang, that was $100 a month. Why should I use it? Okay, forget it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got. Good luck.
You just triggered a
Good luck.
Yeah,
Look,
see?
he almost got
Yeah.
up over there.
I
He
was
jumped
like,
up.
Yeah.
He hung up on me right there.
Yeah.
Hang
I
up, red
was
button.
like, ooh, you just
Yeah.
running yourself.
Yeah, but that's
I
it.
don't have that though.
That's
I
it.
don't have that circle,
Yeah.
that because me and you, we talk, but I'm basically behind the seat. Like
Yeah.
for me to go into different ventures, it only makes sense if it's collaborative
Yeah.
to what I'm already doing. Because I
Yeah.
know that. I'm an expert. So if I venture off, like doing this, it was a part of what I've already doing.
Yeah.
It's just venturing off, and doing other things. Like when I have other people calling me, hey, I want you to do this. I've had people wanting to do real estate with me. But to me, listening to the concept and what they want to do, automatically the way my mind is operating is like, dude, you're a crook, but let's move on to that.
Mhm.
And then like the insurance and all of that,
Yeah.
considering all of that, I evaluate it and say, how is that going to help me?
Yeah.
If I'm going to put in 100% and only get 25, that's a waste of my time.
Is it worth it?
You know, is it worth it?
Mm.
You know, and sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, and one thing I learned recently, because I've had a big transition in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I had a year of transitioning, and then I'm only a year into the actual transition. And one thing that I learned is when you're in business and like how you've been doing this for years, just like I have, when you're in it, sometimes we naturally want to gravitate to something new, a new mission, but sometimes we could just simply do what we're doing better
Yep.
and have a bigger result than starting something new.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I kind of been hanging my hat on these last 2 years is like, I don't want nothing new. I don't want to do something new. And the reason I got to that is because before that, I was doing everything new. Oh, I want to do Turo. This is cool. Everybody's making money. Everybody I see online is a freaking millionaire from Turo. I want to be a Turo millionaire.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get some cars. Oh, everyone's doing this. I'm going to do that. Everyone's a public speaker now, traveling the world. I want to travel the world and be a public speaker.
Mhm.
And then I had to look at myself and go, dude, you're basically, the way I picture it is if you got 5 things, say you got 5 quarters lined up, and the goal is to get these quarters to here. Right now, they're here. If I got 5 of them, 6 of them lined up, and all I'm doing is moving this one a little bit, move this a little, move this a little, move that a little, move that a little, and at the end of the year, I'm trying to get here, and all the quarters are still right here. Why are they right there? Why are they still right there? You know why? Because you shouldn't have 6 of them.
Yeah.
How about I move 4 of them, and I have 2 quarters. Now I move that quarter up.
Yeah.
Now that quarter go up.
Yeah.
That one might go higher.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, I'm like, oh damn, I made way more progress financially, lifestyle.
Yeah.
Meaning I'm not overwhelmed by trying to do 1,000 things. I got 2 things to focus on, and I'm just gonna knock these 2 things out, and I'm gonna get them to the finish line. When I get to the finish line, we can talk. And a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that are just getting started, they make a big mistake because of what they're listening to.
Yeah.
And you're listening to entrepreneurs that are like, oh, you need 5 streams of revenue and you need this and that. And that's
great. And they
great.
ain't even got it figured out, and they don't let you know that.
Yeah.
Though.
But here's the thing. Even if they do got it figured out, if you rewind, they didn't start with 5 streams of revenue.
Yeah.
They freaking started Amazon and got it to $1 billion and then said, what else should I do?
Right.
Which is a whole different game than me trying to start 5 things at one time because someone said I need multiple streams of revenue.
Yeah.
How about you find one good stream and get that thing to where you want it, and now it'll generate revenue and security, and now you can say, you know what else should I do? I want to do something else. That's fine. But entrepreneurs will come in day one, 4 businesses.
Yeah.
Really?
I see that a lot.
You're doing everything.
Because I have a lot of people that come here.
100 LLCs.
Yeah, and they're like, I want to start an LLC, you know, and what I do is I ask them, what's the LLC? What are you doing? And they tell me and I write it down, and I was like, okay, why do you feel like you need to start this LLC, right? And they say, oh, well, when I get the LLC, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go do that. Like a lot of them, I'm going to buy cars, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm like, okay. And who told you to do this? You know, oh, I seen this or that or whatever. And so that's when I drop my pen. And I sit back and I'll say, okay, if you wanted to go buy a car right now, what are they going to ask you for? Oh, they're going to ask me my information. I was like, but what are they going to be more importantly looking at? Oh, if I can afford it. So they're going to ask you for your check stub, right? He's like, yeah.
Income,
and I said, but you
statements.
sitting right here and you want me to open you an LLC, right? And then you going to take that LLC and you're going to go buy a car. What that LLC doing? Do that LLC got any money? He said, no. So what they going to rely on? They're going to rely on me. So why you setting an LLC?
Go get it.
You got to have another reason why you're doing it. Because that's not going to be the reason. And now you just created an expense because it's an annual expense for you to keep that LLC going. And you think that you're going to make money. You know, it's very important for people to, I just wish we can get to a point where they're using this and not just this. It's like that saying that people move when their ears are tickled.
Mm.
It's got to mean something behind it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, and I don't know where it's going to, come from. I was just yesterday, or was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. I was looking at an interview that Kevin Hart had,
Okay. Yeah.
and he was talking about person that was in his life. It was another movie star, and he told him, he said, if I was, if they announced on TV that anybody that can come here and hit this fastball from the fastest, pitcher ever, you're gonna get $1 million. And he said, imagine how many people would be in that line. The line would wrap around because everybody wants to hit it. And he says, and then when they get up there and they bet and they miss it, a lot of them say, man, I missed I missed it. And they go on about their business and the line just keep on continuing. And he said that the guy told him, but see, I got up there and I hit it. I swung and I missed, but I got back in line.
That's what I was
But
thinking.
how many people will literally get back in line? They give up because they missed that first time.
Yeah.
And I was listening to that and I was like, man, that is so true.
That's a great
Because,
analogy.
it was great. And that's what I said when he was telling this story. And I was like, man, that's with entrepreneurship. You got to keep on getting back in line.
That's literally, that can literally be the definition of entrepreneurship.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I would say so.
That's
You
the
know,
definition.
And a lot of times you go to bed and you think about, sometimes I'm over 10 years in, but I still think like, man, why ain't I further? Man, my flowers, I haven't got to that corner where my flowers are at. And it's okay. I just got to keep going until I get it. A lot of them is, a lot of times, like I was just telling my daughter, it's like every morning I wake up, there's a bouquet of roses sitting right there on my, nightstand. And my husband didn't give it to me. Nobody gave it to me. God gave it to me. I see it. I know it's there. How many of us miss that?
Yeah.
How many of us miss that?
Daily.
And you got to get to that point, where you always see it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I always see it because even when I'm not given my value, I still know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
good.
That's an important thing.
Yeah.
That's good.
That you know it.
Like it.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Like it. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, what do you want to leave the audience with? Why should they, number one,
Don't
buy
do
your
it.
book?
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Why should they buy your book?
Run
Right.
now.
Why would what would you say to them on the reason why they should buy this?
I mean,
I know why,
the
but
book
you tell them why.
for me, the book is if you're a parent, or even if you have a nephew, a niece, a cousin, anybody, grandkids that are into their sport and they really are committed to it.
Mhm.
They're getting up early. They're making their breakfast before the tournament, before the game. They dragging you out the house. Come on, we're gonna be late. We gotta go now. Like if they're locked in, and I don't care if they're in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th, or above, if they're locked in, your number one job is to provide resources.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 20 plus years. This book is a resource to every parent of an athlete out there, every uncle of an athlete, auntie of an athlete. This is it, because the recruiting process, most families only go through it one time if they're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you're only going to go through one time, there's a high risk of failure. Because you don't get to practice.
Yes.
You don't get to do it again next year. Your kid's going to graduate, become a senior, and that's over. Whatever happened is the end. We can't rewind it.
Yeah.
So if you know anyone that's a young athlete committed, this book can put them in a position to win, be successful, and ultimately get school paid for.
Yeah.
And that's
Do
what
you
D1
think the
Offers is.
athlete himself needs to read it too?
Yes, 100%. And and I wrote it in that fashion. I wrote it in a fashion where a parent that has no education on recruiting and the NCAA and the core classes and all the stuff that comes with recruiting, you could read it. Or you have a teenage athlete that's 13, 14 trying to figure it out. Guess what? Buy it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Buy it for them. Set it on the bed.
Yes.
Let them read it. You know what I mean? But let them read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's see how serious you are here.
Read it. Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, week, whatever it is, they should come in and be like, hey, I read that book. Mike's the guy said that we should be doing da 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 da, and now you just help them execute.
Yeah, that's that.
Mhm.
Hey, that's it.
That's it.
And how do they get in contact with you?
With me, social media is probably the easiest bet. So IG is probably where I'm between IG and X right now. I'm on X a lot lately.
Really?
But yeah. And the reason being because college coaches, over
Yeah.
90% of them are on X.
X.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not really on
Yeah.
IG, and if they are, it's like their real personal page. So it's not like,
Yeah.
but on X, they're able to like evaluate athletes and watch film and do all that stuff. So X or IG will be the best, and both are the same. Mike Waters P1. So
Gotcha.
P1 as phase 1. So Mike Waters P1 on IG and on X as well.
Yeah.
And just like you said, I love what I do. So even if I tell athletes, even if you just want a quick evaluation, you know what I mean? You have game film, you play JV, freshman, varsity, whatever, and you just want me to look at it and give you my thoughts. I'll literally just watch the 3-4 minute video, send you a nice little summary of what I see, what I think, and then you can decide if there's anything you want to do further or just go work on that.
Right.
You know, or I might say, which happens, decent amount of time, is you're good. You got it. You got what it takes.
And
you need to get to work.
And are you open to like speak to like colleges and high schools?
Yeah.
At the students that, for their sports
Yep.
program, are you open and willing to speak with them and do different things with on that level?
Yep. Well, basically, yeah. What I just put together, and I haven't even started marketing yet. Did that just show you're entrepreneur? You're like ahead of my brain.
Yeah.
Because I literally, that's the plan, is launching this and
Uh-huh.
then being able to go on the speaking events, and then also not just talk about the book, but actually workshops
Yeah.
to where we're actually working through it.
Man, that's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Because see, that's why you see how I'm thinking. Because in order for you, I think, okay, the book is on Amazon. What other sites is it
It's on Amazon, then it's on Shop Recruit Vegas as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are not a lot of it can get in a lot of people's hand, but I think that this is bigger than that.
Yeah.
And we need to help our student, our
Yeah.
young athlete,
Yep.
because let's look at the true percentage rate
Yep.
of the race that's going into those programs.
Yeah.
And the highest rate is African American.
Yep.
And we do not get that education. We do not get that knowledge.
Right.
And this is putting it on the map that, hey, there's something out there that can help you, even if you don't have that help within the schools or whatever.
100%.
Yep,
I agree.
so it's good that you're going to be doing that. Sorry for putting you on the spot for that. I just was thinking about it because I think it's a big part of what you're doing.
No, it is. And it is. And that's why I was kind of creating it now, because I wanted the book first, because it's the workshop part that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just show up at a school or speak in front of a football or basketball team and just have the book and just talk. I want it to be like, we're going to spend an hour and a half of actually, when they get done, they're going to walk away with a game plan.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to bring the printouts and pens, be like, everybody get you know what I mean? Like, and that way they leave. Yep, book is great. And like you said, that's always just my thing with this. The book is great, and I love for everyone to buy the book, but those workshops are going to be hands-on.
Yep.
And that's why, I even have the concept right now, and I talked to one school principal, and she was excited about it, even doing it to where we do like a discount, and now all the students in that group get the book. You know what I mean? Where the school just pays, whatever small percentage of what the book, you know what I mean? So that way, there are 50 students, 100
and
students.
And they need that. See, that's
where it's going to be
need.
big.
Because I'm teaching now too, and I have tax classes, bookkeeping classes, and the thing is I won't take but 4 to 6 students.
Yeah, that's good.
And they were asking, the last class I had, they said, why is the class so small? Because this is hand-on. See, I can give you that book. That's just telling you why. I want to give you everything.
That's the difference.
We're going to actually do it.
Yeah,
you're going to do it to the end. And throughout it, I'm available to ask the question, because while they're doing it, they're going to ask the question, why do we do this? Good question. Let's talk about it. Stop. We're going to talk about why we do it. And I think that it's more value in it. So I take small classes, and I am being asked to do it virtually, but it's probably something that I can do. But right now I don't see how that's gonna it's I'm not giving you
Yeah.
the value that
Yeah.
I can give you in person.
When I was sitting there.
You know, so
Yeah.
I have to sit with that and maybe have somebody like you hit me across the head like, what are you doing?
Well,
Just get it done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
And-
I overthink everything.
and what it is the strategy. So
Yeah.
strategy that most entrepreneurs that are in our spaces are
Mhm.
doing right now is you do the virtual.
Mhm.
You do the virtual, whether it's like a 3-day or 5-day, whatever it is you're doing.
Mhm.
And then you have on the back end already ready a live.
Okay.
So this could be whatever, like what's the title of it? What's the title of the program?
For the
Of what you're doing with
I
the
have
class?
it's just a QuickBook.
Okay.
A QuickBook training.
Okay, good.
And then I also have a business and personal tax class. I teach
nice.
them how to do personal taxes and business taxes. But in the course, I just did one. They started their own tax
Program?
program.
Oh, wow.
I showed them how to get their
Testimony.
I showed
We
them
need a
how to get
testimony.
their numbers from the IRS, then their EFIN number. They register for it.
That's good.
They registered to take their fingerprint.
Yeah,
We
man.
went through every single step, and they were like, "We doing this?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, let's do it."
And
And I
this was
walked
the
around,
in-person
and
one?
they, huh?
This was in person?
Yeah, it's in
That's
person.
good. Yeah.
And
Wow.
so the one that I just taught, it was only 3 in that class. One of them had to cancel because they had a problem with their kid, but they left. They know how to do a tax return. They have the question, and then they still have access to me.
Nice.
But they also started it. They got their P number, they got the EFIN number
that's
where
tight.
they can go buy software, sign off on the taxes and everything.
Nice.
And I tell them it's important to continue that education, because the IRS have different programs that they can get that education to increase their revenue stream.
Nice. No, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
So I that's what I do. I
Yeah,
want
that's
them
good.
to be successful. I don't want to teach a class and say, "Oh, I got up there and I did my thing." If you can't tell me, what you learned from it, what you're capable of doing it, then I just wasted my
Wasting
time.
Yep.
Time is tissue.
Yep.
Man, give me my time back.
Time is tissue. You don't,
Give me my
and you
time
don't want to
back.
run out of time or tissue.
Yeah.
When you run out of either one of those, it's a bad day.
And my kids always laugh every time I do it. They crack up, laugh like, "Mom, why do you always say that?" Because you wasting my time, dude.
Wasting
But
my
let's
time.
do it. What we doing? They like, slow down. You're rushing through it.
Time is tissue. That's a good one.
That's good. I think we found the
That's
title of this
classic.
episode.
That's classic. That's classic. Yeah, that's it. Time is
that's
tissue.
the title.
And we don't want no
No.
You ain't got tissue.
Oh,
You
God.
better have
Oh,
time.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's
See,
good.
we having too much fun,
Yeah.
but
I love it.
our time is up. But we
Yeah.
having too much fun.
Yeah, it's good.
And
good.
I thank you for always supporting everything that I do. He's one of my support systems,
For sure.
But he counts. Even though he my brother, he still counts. Okay?
You gotta be in the circle. We're in the circle. Small
Small one,
circle,
small
but it's a
circle,
circle. Yeah, but
So,
no, I appreciate being
yeah,
on, man. I appreciate this. Always a good time.
Yep.
You have a wealth of knowledge and information, and I'm glad that you're sharing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Sharing it like this, sharing it in different ways other
Yeah.
than what we've been getting for years is the
Mhm.
101.
Yeah.
Now I'm just happy that you're allowing other people to participate and learn and catch all that. So anything you need from me, you already know I'm here.
I know.
Yeah.
I can call him anytime.
I'm
like,
here.
"Mike,
Yeah.
I got this going on." And sometimes I just hear the hard truth,
Sure.
The other day he told me, "Man, I'm sorry, but just do it. Just get it over
Gotta
with.
deal with it.
Yeah.
If it's a bad result, I'm on your side, but just do it."
Mm.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you need to, hear.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, because we will continue to bring you this information, because I think that entrepreneurship is something wonderful. And I believe that there's a spot for every single individual out there, and we just here to give you the information to make it easier for you to dive in and do it. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe, and we look forward for you next week on our next episode.